Greatest Height by Helen Marsh. Fade in, exterior, fair, day. Nicola Weber, 18, quirky delinquent, stands in line at a deep-fried pickle vendor. Her dullard boyfriend, Parker, 20, puffs on cigarette and gazes up at the slow-turning Ferris wheel. Nickle catches his gaze.
No.
I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, but your conniving brain thought it.
Bite me.
She rolls her eyes and turns to the hates-his-life vendor.
Size.
Monster, and go hard on the mustard.
The vendor takes a cucumber-sized pickle, rolls it in breadcrumbs, and tosses it in the deep fryer.
$7.82.
$8 for a pickle?
It's not just a pickle. It's a God-sent gift for my gluttonous pleasures.
The vendor squirts mustard across it, wraps it in a paper towel, and hands it to Nickle. She pays him. First bite, magic.
Don't expect me to do any mouth-to-mouth with pickle, Nickle.
She bares her teeth, exposing the food carnage.
Kiss me, Parker. Prove your undying love.
And this is why my friends warned me not to date a girl straight out of high school.
Yes, this unseen friends you so often speak of. Hold up, there's Steph.
Nickle cuts the Ferris wheel line to get to Stephanie, 18, worthy of a double take, and her flavor of the month boyfriend, Joel, 19.
Nickle got her pickle.
Parker arrives behind them.
That's what I said.
And here I was, trying to be the original.
Hi, I'm Joel.
Nickle grabs his hand and shakes it vigorously.
Nicola Weber, aka Stephanie's best friend. Really, if you want to get in good with her, you have to pass the best friend test. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't easy.
I've heard about you.
Can I have a bite?
Nickle releases Joel's hand and brings the pickle to Stephanie's mouth. They've known each other way too long. She takes a bite. They're at the top of the line, and the Ferris wheel operator gestures to an open seat.
Next.
Have fun on the death trap. Don't expect me to scrape your body off the pavement.
You totally would.
The bar prevents you from falling. This is probably the safest right here.
Control the gob on your man meat, would ya?
Nickle!
Just give it a try, Nix. Promise you won't die.
No.
Yeah, come on. It'll be fun.
No.
Parker gives her a nudge towards the empty seat, and her head flies back as she gazes upwards. The Ferris wheel is an unfathomably tall metal machine against the cloudy sky.
Try it.
I think she's having one of those nervous episodes.
Nickle has tensed up like a board and continues to stare upwards.
Look, are you gonna get on or not?
Parker takes Nickle's shoulders and shakes her.
Stop being such a drama queen, would you?
Please don't make me do this.
Just when everyone thinks she's about to cry, she coughs green pickle guts across Parker's shirt.
Ah, gross, Nickle, gross.
Exterior, fair parking lot, day. Nickle, shirtless Parker, Stephanie, and Joel loiter around an old beat-up Chevy. The Ferris wheel is a teasing beacon in the background. Nickle paces back and forth smoking a cigarette.
I told you no heights. You think I wanted to puke? You know I have a weak esophagus.
We said we're sorry.
Nickle stabs her cigarette in Joel's direction.
He didn't.
Hey, I'm innocent in this.
No one's innocent in this. Now get in the car.
Everyone piles in. Interior Nickle's car, day. Her automobile is an ashtray on wheels. She starts the engine and holds the steering wheel. She glances at Stephanie in the rearview mirror.
Steph, you're forgiven because you're so gosh darn pretty.
Yes.
I'm pretty too.
Your status is pending.
She breathes into her hand and tests her breath.
Jeepers creepers, that is, wowza, just pungent.
She leans over to Parker and he kisses her, but just a quick peck. She takes the steering wheel and we notice her hands are shaking. As she pulls out of the parking lot, she takes one last glimpse at the Ferris wheel in the distance. Exterior, Stephanie's house, day. Nickle's Chevy skids into the driveway of a freshly built mansion. She unapologetically bumps over a lawn ornament. Stephanie and Joel get out of the car.
Adios, mi amor.
See ya, tramp.
The moment the car doors are shut, she drives away.
She said something.
She'll grow on you.
Stephanie turns towards the house.
Come on. We need to check up on my mom.
Exterior, Nickle's house, night. Nickle pulls into the driveway of a lower-class suburban home with an unmowed lawn. Interior, Nickle's house, entrance, night. Shag rugs and lamps with an orange glow. Nickle makes an entrance, kicking her shoes off carelessly as Parker follows behind her.
Mom, we're home.
Nicola, come eat.
I brought the boyfriend.
Come on in, Parker.
Interior, dining room, night. Nickle's parents, Thomas, 56, a scholarly-looking fellow, and Vivian, 50, she blogs, sit at the kitchen table eating dinner. Nickle and Parker enter and slide into their seats.
Hey, Muffin.
Good to see you, Parker.
What's on the menu tonight?
Mashed potatoes and pork roast.
Nickle and Parker start digging in.
You're gonna love the gravy. I used a new recipe. It's a spicy!
You know my motto, if it doesn't burn my esophagus, is it even food?
Did you tell Parker the good news yet, hon?
Nickle shrugs, indifferent.
I was just saving it for an opportune time like this.
Parker quirks an eyebrow as Nickle draws patterns with her fork tines in the mashed potatoes.
What's up?
Well, you see, I got the job at the NYU bookstore. Just gotta find a place to live and a roommate.
At the word roommate, she locks eyes with Parker, hopeful. He doesn't catch on.
I mean, Stephanie was actually accepted into the English program, but she doesn't know if she's going yet, with her mom and all.
Yeah, sucks about her mom, huh?
A beat as Nickle deflates.
Yeah, it does.
So, Parker, how have you been?
Good.
Still working at the shop?
Yep. Kinda.
Gravy?
Sure.
Parker, can your chimp brain not come up with a more than one-word vague answers to my father's probing questions?
What?
Nicola.
Come on, Nicola. What is your deal?
Nickle. Nickle. My parents get a pass seeing as they birthed me.
Grow up.
Me? Me grow up?
Is this about New York?
Nickle looks at her parents as if to say, see what I deal with?
Do you plan on going with Nicola to New York, Parker?
Parker begins to reply, but Nickle cuts in.
That's the question of the decade, folks. You guys are going to get a real kick out of this one. Listen here. We've been dating for what, like a year? A year. And he still doesn't know if he'll be ready to move in with me in the fall.
Financial problems?
More like problems of the heart.
Oh, don't be like that. I mean, we're still young.
Nickle mumbles something incomprehensible.
What?
You still haven't even told me you love me.
Quiet. Parker looks to Nickle's parents. They continue to eat in choked silence.
I think it might be best if you go, Parker. Just might be best.
Parker scrapes back his chair defiantly. Exterior, Nickle's house, night. Nickle slumps in the doorway as Parker leaves.
Parker,
He turns back.
so I guess we're done, hey?
Guess so.
He lingers.
I didn't mean to bring it all up like that. I really didn't. I guess it's just been scraping at my nerves for a while now.
Yeah. Whatever, Nix.
You really don't love me?
Parker turns his ball cap back and forth and shrugs.
I don't even think I know what that means.
He kicks up some gravel and walks away. Exterior, church parking lot, day. It's early morning and the parking lot is packed with well-dressed people exiting their cars and heading up the church steps. Exterior, church, day. Ryan Brooks, 24, holds the church doors open and hands out pamphlets. Marjorie, an elderly woman, struggles to get up the stairs and he gently takes her arm.
Marjorie, how are you?
My hips are giving up faster than my mind. God bless you, dear.
He helps her inside. Exterior, church parking lot, day. Nickle and Stephanie sit on a cinder block at the edge of the parking lot, passing a cigarette between them.
I think my depression is kicking up again.
Oh yeah? Bummer.
Last night when Joel was over, he kept asking me why I wasn't happy. I guess I just felt lonely, you know? Even with my whole family there, it's hard to describe.
I broke up with Parker.
What? No way. You okay?
It's been a year and he still doesn't love me. How's that even possible?
Did you love him?
Nickle takes the last puff from the cigarette, then snuffs it on the bottom of her shoe.
Honestly, I don't even know, you know? I want to fall in love, I know that. I want someone who's ready to move through life with me, motivate me, you know? Then maybe in 5 years, I'll pop out some kids and bam, life done, right? Instead, there's all this uncertainty garbage.
Well, aren't you just the purest little saint?
Oh, shush.
Nickle's gonna get married and have a family and live happily ever after in her white picket fence home.
I'm gonna be some nomad hermit. Who the heck would marry me?
Bet that guy would.
Stephanie gestures across the parking lot to exterior church, day. Ryan, as he greets the last guest and closes the church doors. Exterior church parking lot, day.
No way.
Church boys are always after rebel girls. It's the temptation, the sin, the poisoned apple.
I'm more of a sour apple than a poisoned one.
Stephanie rolls her shoulders and seductively looks to Nickle.
Hey, are we doing this or not?
Wouldn't it be Sunday if we didn't?
Exterior church day. Nickle and Stephanie run up the church steps and press their ear to the door. Interior church day. A beautiful church with crowded pews. A pastor stands at the front. Ryan finds a seat next to Rosa, 20. Tabloid beauty doesn't hold a candle to this little angel. She smiles up at him.
It's great to see all your faithful faces here today. If you're new to the church, welcome. Welcome. I would like to start this sermon with Ecclesiastes 4:12. Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken.
Ryan and Rosa exchange a shy smile. Rosa blushes.
Now 2 people can be husband and wife, or brother and sister, possibly just 2 close friends. However, the 3rd strand is always the same. The 3rd is God. And no matter what the relationship you nurture, He will always be there to hold the relationship up when it is at its breaking point.
Exterior church day. Nickle and Stephanie are still listening.
Fire up the trumpets.
Let there be song.
Interior church day. The pastor takes a guitar from the side of the stage and brings it to the front.
I want you to think of yourself as parts of a guitar. You are on the one end, and your partner on the other. Now, the only way for that relationship to be harmonious is with a string. That string is God's will, and He will keep your relationship bonded, as long as you remember to tune yourself.
He gently strums the guitar.
Rosa, why don't you come play? We will start today's worship with How He Loves.
Rosa saunters out from the pews and onto the stage. She takes the guitar and looks to the pastor.
Ready when you are.
Rosa plays the guitar.
He is jealous for me, loves like a hurricane, and I am a tree.
Nickle and Stephanie slip through the church doors and edge themselves into the back of the pew.
Bending beneath the weight of His wind and mercy, when all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are, and how great your affections are for me.
1, 2.
Nickle and Stephanie join in with the singing as loud and off-key as their little lungs can muster.
And
how He loves us,
oh, how He loves us, how He loves us, oh.
As they continue to sing, people glance back to stare at Nickle and Stephanie. Ryan fully turns around.
Must you come every week?
Shh, sing.
Most of the church has stopped singing and stares annoyed at the girls.
He is jealous for me, loves like a hurricane, and I am a tree.
The pastor clears his throat.
hello again, ladies.
I think this is our cue to go.
Your face is just great. Do you pluck your eyebrows?
Nickle.
Stephanie pulls on Nickle's arms. Nickle grabs a pamphlet from Ryan's hand as he stifles a laugh and subconsciously touches his eyebrows. The girls run out.
Only our 2 favorite street ladies. God bless. No harm done. Shall we continue?
Exterior church parking lot day. Nickle and Stephanie run through the parking lot, dodging around vehicles and glancing over their shoulders. They stop outside of Nickle's car.
Think he's gonna come for us this time?
Doubtful. Too nice.
What'd you grab?
Nickle shrugs, looking at the pamphlet in her hands.
Jesus Christ merchandise?
Stephanie grabs the pamphlet and whacks Nickle on the head.
You have sinned.
I'm sorry, Father.
The girls snicker, then unroll the pamphlet and read.
Food bank donations are coming up. I've been collecting for months. I'm trying to be top donator this year.
There's a pair of orange gloves in the lost and found. Oh, shucks, honeybee, I bet those are mine.
David Gagnon is getting baptized next Sunday. Are we attending?
Youth group every Friday from 7 to 10. Bring your Bible.
Text Ryan Brook for more details. Sounds delectable. What else can we text him for?
Oh, get in the car.
Interior Nickle's car, day. Nickle and Stephanie wait in line at a McDonald's drive-thru.
I'm pretty sure Ryan is that cute door-holding, pamphlet-giving, love-of-your-life church boy.
So what if he is?
Nickle rolls down her window.
What can I get you today?
I'll get a sirloin 3rd pounder with extra fries and a chocolate milkshake.
She looks at Stephanie.
A Caesar salad. No dressing.
And a Caesar salad. Hold the dressing for my anorexic friend.
That'll be $13.50 at the window.
Yes, sirree, ma'am.
She snail crawls her car forward.
Let's just pretend he is the love of my life and he does run these youth group whatevers. What would I do? Show up?
Why not?
Nickle slams on the brakes, making them lurch against their seatbelts. She retrieves her meal and hands Stephanie her salad. They park and start eating.
He knows who I am. I'd be the laughing stock of Jesus Club.
You could teach them how to play poker or something.
It says to bring a Bible. I don't even own a Bible.
Go to the bookstore. Pick one up.
Nickle bites into her burger.
Let's just drop this. It was a stupid idea.
Bite and crunch and swallow.
Joel wants me to meet his parents.
Doesn't he know he has an expiration date?
Maybe he doesn't. I think I actually like him. So does Mom.
Seriously.
Stephanie finishes off her salad and pulls up her shirt.
Am I fat?
Supremely obese, tiny one.
Interior Nickle's house, dining room, night. Nickle pokes at the food on her plate. Her parents stare in worry.
Not hungry, Muffin?
It's your favorite, scalloped potatoes.
Listen, how long have you and Dad been together? Like 15 years?
17, I think.
17 next July.
And you're still in love?
Vivian and Thomas exchange a knowing look.
I knew she was the one for me from the moment I watched her slip on ice and pour coffee down her shirt.
He laughed at me for a solid minute before buying me a new coffee.
They touch hands.
Is there something you want to tell us, Nicola?
Not pregnant, are you?
Are you and Parker getting back together?
No, not pregnant, and no, we're done like dinner. Can I go to my room?
Interior Nickle's bedroom, night. Nickle's bedroom is equal parts rock and roll posters as it is dirty laundry. She lies on her bed scrolling through a social media feed. Insert phone. A picture of Parker and a ditzy-looking girl snuggled next to an open fire roasting marshmallows. End insert.
It's been like one day. It can't be that easy to get over me.
She goes to the girl's profile and scrolls through her photos.
You're not an inspiring vet. You're an aspiring vet, Dumbo.
She dials her phone. Interior, Stephanie's bedroom, night. A drowning in money Barbie doll lives here. Stephanie sits on the edge of her bed crying softly. Joel sits next to her, rubbing her back. Stephanie's phone rings. She picks it up.
Hello?
Intercut with Interior, Nickle's bedroom, night.
SOS, Parker has found his next conquest in the form of Cinder Ugly.
Oh no.
He's totally only with her to get back at me for dumping him like a week into summer vacay, but I expected a rebound of higher caliber. Anyway, do you want to hang out tonight?
I'm actually feeling a bit down.
Oh, please, Steph. I could cheer you up.
I think I just need a night with Joel. Clear my head.
All right, well, feel better.
I'll try.
Wait, darling. Have you decided if you're going to NYU yet? 'Cause if you are, I have roommate dibs.
I don't know, Nick.
All right, well, I love you, tiny one.
I love you too.
Interior Nickle's bedroom, night. Defeated and lonely, Nickle crumples into her bed. She glances at her phone again, then throws it across the room. It hits her desk, knocking the church pamphlet off and sending it drifting to the garbage dump of a floor. Intrigued, Nickle gets up and grabs it.
Ryan Brook.
Interior entrance, day. Nickle, her makeup done to perfection but her outfit still slobbish, digs through an array of shoes.
Mom, where's my Converse?
Are you going somewhere?
That's not an answer.
Interior Nickle's car, night. All-star Converse to the pedal. Nickle rips out of her driveway. She flips through the radio stations till she finds some classic rock and roll. She pumps the windows down and takes in the city at night. This is bliss. Exterior bookstore, night. A small, crummy bookstore. A store clerk turns the window sign from open to closed and is about to lock up when Nickle slams her hands onto the glass pane. The clerk jumps.
I need a Bible.
Exterior church parking lot, night. There's not many cars. The church looks dark. Nickle gets out of her ride and meanders towards the church, Bible in hand. She tries the church doors. Interior church, night. Empty pews. Lights are dim. Nickle pokes her head in.
Hello? Hello? I'm here for the party.
You okay?
Exterior church, night. Nickle jerks her head out of the church and spins around. Rosa stands at the bottom of the steps holding a pizza box.
I'm here for youth group or whatchamacallit, Bible school.
It's around back. I'm Rosa.
She extends her manicured hand. Nickle runs down the steps and takes it.
I'm Nickle, like the highly valued 5-cent coin.
She eyes the cross around Rosa's neck.
Nice bling. I had this bedazzled cross once when I was like 6.
Bedazzled?
Yeah, like pimped out, you know? What did you say your name was again? Hermione?
Rosa?
Exterior back of church, night. Rosa leads Nickle downstairs at the back of the church and into interior church basement, night. The basement has an open kitchen, a pool table, foosball, a karaoke machine, and chairs set up in a large circle. Youth, looking sharp, mill about chatting. Nickle and Rosa enter.
This is it. The church youth pretty much has full reign over the basement.
Cool.
I feel like I recognize you. What church did you transfer from again?
You know, the one with the big old statue of Jesus?
Not really.
Ryan approaches the ladies.
Hey, Rosa. I see you've brought our best singer.
Nickle grins from ear to ear to stifle utter embarrassment.
Can't sneak one by you. I'm Nickle.
They shake, kind of awkwardly. Nickle's cheeks become wine-stained as she blushes.
You sing?
A bit of this, a bit of that. I know the churchy music like the back of my hand, though. I consider myself profesh.
I would have to agree. Come on, we're about to start.
Interior church basement, later. The group of preppy-looking misfits sit in a circle. Allison, a shut-in, holds the talking cross.
And I've told my dad to stop hitting the dog. He's 9 years old now, and last time Dad hit him, he just got a concussion. And I'd just like us all to pray that Dad stops hitting Mickey. Could we do that?
Of course.
Nickle fidgets in her chair.
Nickle, did you have something to add?
Yeah. Okay, Allison, right?
She nods.
Your dad is abusing that dog. If you want to protect Mickey, call the SPCA or something. That's what'll help him.
I don't want my dad to get mad.
No, you don't. Let's pray.
Nickle rolls her eyes and the circle joins hands. They close their eyes.
We pray to God, our mighty Lord and Savior, that he looks down on Allison, her dad, and her dog, and sees they are in pain and needing his help. We pray to God to help Allison's dad find peace and love and no longer have so much anger that he acts out.
A wet dog nose presses against Nickle's hand. She pulls her hand away and opens her eyes, surprised. Nothing is there. She closes her eyes again.
We pray that Allison's fear can be eased and her dog receives all the love he deserves.
Panting right next to Nickle's ear. The panting increases and the wet nose presses right to her cheek. She scrambles off her chair. Ryan breaks the prayer.
Are you okay, Nickle?
What? I'm sorry.
She gets back in her chair.
Did you guys hear panting?
Rosa snickers.
Like a dog?
I heard it too.
Have you ever been to church, Nickle? Other than for the sing-alongs?
I don't know. Not really, I guess.
Well, it sounds like you just experienced God.
Nickle and Ryan lock eyes. He smiles at her. Exterior church parking lot, night. Nickle and Ryan stand next to her beat-up wheels.
I'm glad you came tonight.
Yeah, me too. It was coolio. Super unexpected. Like, I didn't know you guys actually felt and heard real things. Like, I always thought that burning bush thing was like a metaphor or something.
It's all about perspective and what you allow yourself to be open to.
But I felt it. Its breath was tickling the hair on my cheek, no joke.
You're kind of goofy, you know?
Ryan Brook, are you flirting with me?
Me?
They look around awkwardly, searching for words.
Want to come to church with me next Sunday? Stay for one more song?
I don't know. No, not my scene.
Maybe God wants it to be your scene.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
She pulls a cigarette out of her pocket and lights it up. Ryan's face changes.
What, want a puff?
No, are you kidding me? How old are you?
18.
Then you've got to know cigarettes are like loaded with tar and rat poisoning. You're pretty much asking for a shorter life.
Like, I'm aware of that, but I started smoking to impress a boy in like grade 9, and then, well, addiction obviously became an issue.
She takes another puff.
You know what I think?
Then I'm going to hell?
No, that God brought you to me for a reason. Like a wake-up call. A life change.
Oh yeah? You're not dating Rosa, are you?
No.
Good.
She snuffs out her cigarette, balancing on the tippy toes of her Converse, and kisses him on the cheek. When she pulls away, he's frowning.
You smell like cigarettes.
She opens her car door.
Just trying to get you addicted.
To you?
She gets in her car.
Maybe.
Interior, Nickle's bedroom, night. Nickle lies under her bed with a flashlight and Swiss Army knife. Amongst crass etchings in her wooden bed frame, she carves, Ryan plus Nickle equals love. She smiles up at her handiwork. She clicks the flashlight off. Cut to black. Church bells ring. Fade up. Exterior church parking lot, day. Nickle steps out of her car in a flashy sequin dress. Yikes. Old woman Marjorie does a double take.
Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Just looking to snag the love of my life before I'm old and feeble like you.
With that mouth, you'll be lucky to snag a sailor. Help me up the stairs.
Exterior church, day. Ryan stands at the top of the steps holding the door open and greeting people. Nickle helps Marjorie up the steps. Ryan watches, amused.
Thank you, dear. Good luck with this one.
I'll need it.
Marjorie goes inside.
Good day, sir.
And to you, ma'am. Nice dress.
I wasn't really sure what to wear, but hey, guess what?
What?
I didn't have my morning smoke.
Impressive.
Yepers, I'm practically a new woman. Well, see you on the enlightened side.
Interior church, day. Nickle takes a seat near the front next to Marjorie. The pastor comes onto stage and catches Nickle's glance. She looks away. The church doors close and Ryan finds a seat next to Nickle.
Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to see some new faces in the crowd. Some faces more surprising than others.
Nickle feels eyes on her and turns to see Rosa. Scowling, the girl has a sour side.
I'm going to start this morning's sermon with 1 Corinthians 13:2. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing.
Marjorie pats Nickle's hand.
I've struggled to understand this. I've always believed in God. But when you see torture, war, ruin, you start to despise God. You start to ask why He isn't stopping this. However, then you meet the people, His servants, who are working to stop this. These people hold God with such love in their hearts that moving a mountain has become a simple task. I want you all to remember that before you can do good, you must love. Rosa, would you please come on up here? Lead us in our first song, 10,000 Reasons.
Rosa takes the stage with her guitar. Nickle turns to Ryan.
Does he always ask her?
Rosa's his daughter.
She tunes her guitar and starts, her voice like honey.
Bless the Lord, O my soul, O my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, O my soul. I'll worship your holy name.
Nickle's lips quiver.
The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing your song again. Whatever may pass, and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes.
Nickle's voice falls in with the rest of the church. The pastor smiles at her. There's something deeply profound about it all. Exterior church day, everyone pours out. Nickle, Ryan, and Rosa come down the steps.
You have a really stellar voice, Rosa. High school musical material.
Thanks.
You know, I play some mean keyboard myself. Maybe if I got the notes, I could join you on the main stage sometime.
That'd be awesome.
You'd have to talk to my father.
Yoo-hoo! I have mustard pickles.
Exterior church parking lot day. Stephanie sits on the hood of Nickle's car holding a jar of pickles. Exterior church day. Rosa suppresses a laugh.
Is that your friend?
Some may even say that's my best friend in the whole wide world. See ya.
Exterior church parking lot day. Nickle is nearly flattened by a car as she hikes up her dress and weaves through the parking lot. She gets to Stephanie, who leaps off the hood and into a bear hug.
Don't replace me with prep boy and mean girl. I need love too.
Don't talk insanity, Steph. Your bony body is irreplaceable.
Exterior Stephanie's house day. Nickle and Stephanie tan in lawn chairs outside of Stephanie's house. They crunch on mustard pickles.
I still can't believe you went to youth group.
Like, obviously I thought it would be super lame, but it was good. Good weird. Like, I felt this presence. And they have free pizza, so I'm thinking I'll make a regular appearance.
Free pizza and a smoldering Ryan.
He is pretty smoldering.
So you're going to, like, convert or something now?
I think to convert, I have to have had a previous religion. Do you think they'll baptize me?
I heard that if you're baptized with sin in your heart, the water turns to black sludge and, eats you alive or something.
She pulls out a pack of cigarettes.
Smoke?
I'm trying to quit.
Jeepers creepers, who are you?
She pulls back Nickle's hair and yells into her ear.
Nickle, if you're still somewhere in there, blink twice.
All right, just one.
She takes a smoke and lights up. From Stephanie's house behind them, arguing voices leach out. Stephanie sinks lower into her chair.
Nickle?
Hmm?
Sometimes I want to die. I really do.
Nickle's phone buzzes.
Hold that depressing thought.
She grabs her phone from under her chair and opens a new message from an unknown number reading, "Got your number from youth group sign-in. Let's meet up?" Nickle deviously texts back, "Gilbert? R. Ryan. N. Gosh, I just have so many suitors it's hard to keep track."
What are you grinning about, sicko?
Nickle shows her the texts just as the yelling from the house heightens. There's a crash, like a bottle breaking.
I better get in there.
She hoists herself from the lawn chair and heads towards the front door. Nickle calls after her, blowing smoke out her nose.
I'm taking off, but remember I need you alive, darling. Keep trekking along for me.
Stephanie smiles feebly but doesn't look back. Interior, Nickle's house, living room, day. Vivian is on the couch blogging like a madman when Nickle swoops through and into her bedroom.
I think I'm making schnitzel for dinner tonight.
I'm going out. Don't wait up.
With who? Stephanie?
Nope.
Nickle returns in a black strappy shirt.
This unwholesome to you?
You look lovely, Nicola.
God.
Nickle heads back into her bedroom.
Who's the boy you have to look unwholesome for?
Ryan.
Who?
Ryan.
She returns in a semi-translucent blouse and heads out. Vivian smiles and continues her blog. Interior, the Silver Spoon, evening. A classy diner. Men in button-downs and women in little black dresses. Ryan's at a table for two, looking completely suave, and then in comes Nickle, who gives him a shit-eating grin as she stumbles into her seat.
Hey, Mr. Brook. You sure know how to impress a lady.
A lady? Where?
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
Not since she passed, actually.
Nickle loses her cool and shrugs empathetically. She picks up a menu and pretends to study as she replies.
I would say sorry, but I've heard that pity junk doesn't really help much.
You're right. It doesn't.
He reaches across the table and moves the menu away from her face, chuckling.
But finally catching you off guard does. And now that's out there, it's your turn. Tell me something interesting.
I don't even know where to start. I'm exceptionally interesting.
A waiter approaches, regarding the couple with utter distaste.
Good evening, and have we decided?
Ryan picks up the other menu.
What are you thinking, Nickle?
Cut to, interior, the Silver Spoon, night. The table is covered in half-eaten appetizers, and Nickle and Ryan are gorging themselves while talking between chews.
But he never phoned Jane Gallagher.
So?
So he wanted to phone her from the first page to the last and never did it. That's very depressing.
That was the point of the book? That he was stunted? He couldn't grow up enough to even make a phone call to someone he actually cared about.
Look, if depressing is what you're into, you might like Steph more than me.
Skinny blonde? What's her deal?
Mental issues up the wazoo. She has looks and money and she's smart as a whip, but it's all going to waste because she just oozes sadness.
Sounds like she doesn't have God.
Nickle points her fork at him accusingly.
She has God about as much as I do, and I'm perfectly happy.
So, not at all?
I have him. Just because I don't go to church doesn't mean I don't have him.
Do you feel full?
Yeah, I'm stuffed.
No, Nickle. I mean, do you, feel like you're never alone? That you're always being loved and taken care of? Do you appreciate all the little things even when you're having a shitty day? That's how you know that you have God. And you're right. You don't have to go to church to feel that way. The reason we all go is because we all feel so full of His love that we want to express how amazing that feeling is. We're not just singing, we're praising.
Yeah, okay.
Do you even get what I mean?
Nickle pushes her plate away and really locks eyes with Ryan.
No, I don't.
Are you mad at me or something?
She stands, letting out an irritated breath.
Nickle, seriously.
I'm not mad. I'm envious. I'm never going to have that. I'm never going to feel full.
Nickle is about to turn and leave, but Ryan jumps up. He grabs her hand and spins her towards him. Out of nowhere, he kisses her. When they part, they're both kind of nervous and shaky.
Isn't it worth a shot?
Interior, the Silver Spoon, washroom, night. Pants up, Nickle sits on a toilet texting Stephanie like a madman. Nickle, he kissed me, total lip-on-lip action. Stephanie, no way, how was it? Nickle, heavenly. Stephanie, where's he now? Nickle, paying the bill. I'll call you later. Nickle exits the stall and nonchalantly passes by a young man at the urinal as she pockets her phone.
What the?
Girls was full.
She exits. Interior, the Silver Spoon, night. Ryan is facing towards the woman's washroom as he waits for his date. Nickle taps him on the shoulder and he spins around, cluing in that she just exited the men's.
Gender is just a social construct anyway, am I right?
He smiles, amused. Interior, Nickle's car, driving, night. Bad Guy by Billie Eilish is blasting out of the ancient speakers and vibrating the rearview mirror. Nickle is singing along like a high-on-life maniac. As she drives, she checks her phone and notices she has 3 missed calls from Stephanie. She makes a U-turn and heads back. Exterior, Stephanie's house, night. Nickle tosses rocks at a second-floor window. Her car idles behind her.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
The front door opens and Stephanie pokes her head out.
What the heck are you doing? You're going to wake the whole neighborhood up.
Interior, Stephanie's bedroom, night. Fairy lights glow around Stephanie's bed frame. The 2 girls lay head to toe, staring up at the ceiling.
You know, he probably doesn't believe in sex before marriage.
So?
So, does he know you've been deflowered?
Nickle lightly kicks her with her bare foot.
Stop.
You stop. Why would I ever tell him that?
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god, you love him. It's been like 5 minutes and you're already head over heels and ready to marry the poor sucker.
I don't love him. He's just chill, you know? And like, real wise. He thinks a lot about the world and stuff.
You're such a loser. But at least we can double date again.
How's it going with Joel anyway?
It's good, I guess. He's comforting.
That it?
It's just, I don't know. He's a bit vacant. Sometimes I can't tell if he's even paying attention when I'm talking, you know? And then other times he just blows my mind.
Dump him.
Stephanie reaches above her head and flicks off the fairy lights, blanketing the room in a darkness.
So you think we'll go to heaven when we die?
I guess. The alternative is a bit grim.
Hell?
Worm food?
Reincarnation?
Imagine being reincarnated into a piece of grass, just to have your buddy chop you down with his lawnmower. Steph? Are you crying?
There is, in fact, a small whimper.
I just hope that the heaven one is the true one.
Interior, Nickle's house, dining room, day. It's a gong show. Nickle's setting the table, Vivian's bringing in food. Nickle's swatting Thomas's hands away from the food.
Don't get your germy hands on the ravioli. If we give him food poisoning, he'll never come back. And you're not going to use the Lord's name in vain, right?
I'd never. Wait, what does that mean?
And we're going to have to pray before the meal. You know how to pray, right?
Of course.
You don't expect him to lead the prayer, do you?
I can lead a prayer.
No, definitely not. Mom, you lead the prayer.
I can lead the prayer.
The doorbell rings and Nickle pinches the bridge of her nose and lets out a murderous sigh.
If you guys mess this up...
What, are you dating the Pope himself? Go get the door, honey.
Interior dining room, later. Nickle, Ryan, Vivian, and Thomas eat in calculated awareness. Nickle notices a hair on Ryan's plate.
So Ryan, Nickle told me you guys met at church.
Ryan turns towards Thomas and Nickle dives for the hair.
Youth group, officially.
Nickle gets the hair but knocks Ryan's spoon to the ground in the process.
Clumsy me.
This is very good, Mrs. Weber.
Thank you, Ryan. Is your mom...
Nickle almost chokes.
Did I mention Ryan will be going to NYU in the fall too? He's taking business.
It's great. What kind of business are you interested in?
I'm actually trying to get my church to help fund the starting of a nonprofit organization to help send more missionaries to underdeveloped countries. I want to help refugees.
That's terrific.
Hey, don't go one-upping me now. I'm going to do great things too.
I never doubted it for a second.
Under the table, Ryan's foot nudges Nickle's playfully. Vivian and Thomas exchange a look. He's good. Almost too good. Exterior, Nickle's house, evening. Nickle and Ryan loiter on the front porch, a bit uncertain about how to say goodbye.
That was nice. Your parents are pretty cool.
When do I get the old intro to your pop?
Do you want to meet my dad?
Why not?
And my stepmom and stepsister?
They'll love me.
Ryan steps closer to her, gently tucking her hair behind her ear.
Nicola Weber, you are truly one of a kind. Anyone ever tell you that?
I get it from time to time.
Finally, he leans in and kisses her. It's full on and passionate, and with the sun setting behind the dingy old house, and casting the most perfect yellow and orange and pink light. His hands catch in her hair, and she brings her hands to his neck, but he pulls back.
You're shaking.
Oh, it's just...
What's wrong? You look sick.
I just really need a smoke.
She pulls a cigarette from her back pocket, lights it, and takes a drag. Ryan steps back, completely turned off.
I thought you were quitting.
I'm trying, but the nicotine cravings just rattle me up a little.
Then you need to get the patches, the gum, go to counseling.
Hey, big shot, I'm doing my best. I don't expect you to get it.
And I don't expect you'll be meeting my family anytime soon.
Beat.
You're kidding, right?
He shakes his head and starts off the porch.
They just wouldn't be cool with me dating a smoker. See ya. Tell your folks I say thanks.
Nickle's phone buzzes in her back pocket. She pulls it out and reads a message from Stephanie. Joel and I are at the lot. You and your lad care to join? Nickle angrily pockets her phone and watches Ryan leave. She takes a long drag and blows the smoke in the general direction of his car as he pulls out. That'll teach him. Exterior parking lot day. A mostly empty mall parking lot. Joel, Stephanie, and Nickle lounge on the hood of a car parked next to Nickle's Chevy. They eat long red Twizzlers and stare at the heavy concrete of the mall.
My eyes hurt.
Nickle takes off her sunglasses and passes them to Stephanie. She puts them on.
If you were to off yourself, how would you do it?
Steph.
Come on, humor me.
She flicks a Twizzler to the ground.
I guess a whack ton of aspirin. Like, I wouldn't want to feel anything if I could help it.
But if you don't take enough, you might just end up a vegetable.
Then maybe drowning.
No gun?
No. I'd probably just end up shooting myself in the leg or something.
Can we not talk about this with a girl on suicide watch?
Oh, hush. This girl's all depression, no action.
Joel kisses the top of Stephanie's head.
So your dinner with the folks was a bust?
It was actually perfect. The Rents managed to keep their gobs shut without any unholy topics, and Ryan just oozes charm, you know? It was just nice, so freaking nice. Like, we weren't fighting the way Parker and I always did. It wasn't until I got a smoke that things went sideways.
I'm sorry, babe.
Yeah, whatever. I just need to quit is all.
You shouldn't have to change yourself for someone to like you.
I haven't changed myself. I really haven't.
Well, maybe that's the problem.
Nickle looks quizzically to Stephanie.
What are you suggesting?
That you have 3 days till the next round of church. 3 days to make a change of epic proportion.
At that moment, a woman hurriedly approaches, her arms loaded with groceries.
Get off! Get off! What are you skids doing on my car?
They scramble off the car, hooting and laughing.
I'm calling the police. Don't think I won't report this.
They dive into Nickle's Chevy. Interior Stephanie's bedroom day. Series of shots accompanied by Worth It by Fifth Harmony. Stephanie lathers wax onto Nickle's legs. A nicotine patch is smacked onto her arm. Wax is ripped off unapologetically. A pink shirt is buttoned up to the stiff white collar. Delicate pearl white nail polish is brushed onto her fingernails. 2 more nicotine patches are added. End series of shots. An alternate alien version of Nickle stands in front of the mirror while Stephanie fluffs her hair. She has good posture and clear skin and looks as though she probably volunteers at a nursing home twice a week. She spits a wad of gum into the garbage.
Who the heck is this?
It's you, my dear. It's Nicola.
Nicola?
Welcome to the conceited side.
Nickle sniffs her armpits.
Smells nice on the conceited side.
Nickle's phone rings, and she wiggles her eyebrows at Stephanie as she answers it.
Hello, Parker.
Stephanie sticks her finger down her throat in mock nausea. Intercut with exterior Nickle's house, day.
Hey, Nickle. I'm actually just outside your house. I was wondering if you had a second to talk.
I'm not home right now. I'm at Stephanie's.
Oh,
What is it? Did you want to get back together?
yeah, actually,
Interior Stephanie's bedroom, day. Nickle hangs up and tosses the phone to Stephanie's bed. Stephanie applauds.
I think you're ready.
Nickle nods to herself in the mirror. Cue the church bells. Exterior church, day. Ryan's at the door passing out pamphlets as people enter.
Good morning, Mrs. Hollifield.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, mister.
Ryan's eyes kind of bug out as he stares past the man he was greeting and into the parking lot. It's Nickle, with Stephanie at her side, and she's looking, well, innocent. Her hair is tucked behind her ears in soft little waves. She's in a breezy dress and carrying a small black pocketbook. She's smiling kind of sweetly, even though her eyes are darting around nervously. And there's Stephanie all like, "Yep, I did this, you're welcome." Nickle gets to the top of the steps and checks to make sure the dress is still covering her butt. She tugs it down a little.
You look... Wow. Really... Wow.
Thanks, you're looking pretty good yourself.
Ryan leans down to kiss her, but Stephanie yanks Nickle away.
Miss Weber will see you inside. Come on, darling.
Interior church day. Everyone's singing gloriously, but Ryan keeps stealing glances at Nickle, who's actually keeping in harmony for once. On stage, Rosa belts out the words, doing her best to dominate the young man's attention. She notices Ryan lean down to whisper something in Nickle's ear, and Rosa fumbles over the lyrics. Interior church later. The sermon is over, and everyone is milling about chatting.
Some of us from youth are heading to the lake for a cool down. Would you ladies like to join?
I'm sweating buckets. That sounds amazing.
One sec, I just gotta talk to someone.
You abandoning me?
I'll just be a sec, hold tight.
Nickle dodges through the people to cautiously approach the pastor. Upon seeing her, he smiles lovingly.
Nickle, what a change you've made in the past 2 weeks. I'm glad to see you're staying for longer than a song or two.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No apologies, I insist.
She smiles timidly.
Is there something you wanted to tell me?
Yeah, actually, I'm ready to be baptized.
Oh?
He steps towards a quieter area and Nickle follows.
And what spurred this decision?
I'm just ready to commit, to be full.
Full?
Of God. Like at peace with the universe and all.
Might I ask you what it is you love more than anything else in the world? What is it that makes you get up in the morning and brings meaning to your day?
Nickle tugs at her dress nervously.
I don't know. I guess it's a lot of things. I like making people laugh. I love Stephanie. Oh, and God too, obviously.
What do you really want out of life?
Gosh, didn't realize there was going to be a test. Would have studied. I guess I just want to find love. Like that forever love that people are always raving about.
That's great. That's really great.
So when can I get baptized?
When God isn't an afterthought.
But I've changed. Even you noticed it. Even you liked it.
God doesn't care how you dress or how you talk. God loved you even when you burst into church and disrupted the whole congregation. He's always loved you.
He places a hand on her shoulder and smiles kindly.
Don't worry. You'll get there. I know you will.
Cut to, Nickle is walking back through the church, looking a little defeated and a bit anxious that she can't find her friends. She glances at the big cross and the stained glass windows and the Bibles tucked into the backs of church pews.
Nickle! Over here!
Nickle turns towards the door where Ryan stands with his family. Nickle approaches, blood running to her face in an anxiety-ridden blush. Mr. Brook, 50s, is a severe-looking man. His wife, Beth, 45, looks tired and indifferent. With bleached hair and Botox lips, she holds a toddler, Lucy. Nickle walks to Ryan's side.
Nickle, this is my dad, Henry, my stepmom, Beth, and my little sister, Lucy.
Hi, I'm Nickle.
Nickle shakes hands with Mr. Brook, and Ryan loops his arm around her waist. As they talk, she noticeably relaxes at his side. Behind them, Stephanie is about to approach but thinks better of it. Alone, she lowers herself into a pew and stares up at the large cross. Exterior, the bluffs, day. Rocky bluffs surrounding a gorgeous green crystal lake. A few people from youth, including Ryan and Rosa, are jumping off the bluffs and into the beautiful water below. The Chevy pulls up and Nickle and Stephanie step out. Ryan runs up and kisses Nickle on the cheek as Rosa leaps over the edge.
Glad you found it.
Me too, wowza.
This place is amazing. How come I've never heard about it before?
Because it's a well-kept secret. That and you have to jump to get in.
Nickle approaches the rocky edge, trying her best to play it cool.
I'm actually not that hot yet. Might just stand up here for a while.
Stephanie frowns sympathetically.
So there's no other way down?
There's the rope ladder, but usually that's for climbing back up. You sure you don't want to come?
Nickle lays her towel on the grass and sprawls out.
I'm getting my tan on.
Do you mind if I...
Suit yourself. But don't come crawling to me when you get hypothermia.
Stephanie kicks off her shoes and pulls off her dress to reveal her bathing suit beneath. She takes a deep breath, working herself up, and then runs. She disappears over the edge screaming, and Ryan glances down. Splash. He walks back over to Nickle and takes a seat on the edge of her towel.
It's pretty fun, you know.
You're blocking my son.
He shifts.
Is something the matter? Is this because of my dad? You know, he's not as scary as he looks. He just puts on a face.
Your dad was great, seriously. I'm glad I got to meet him.
So, what is it?
Nickle leans on her elbows and drums her fingers nervously. She stares into the distance.
You craving a cigarette again?
She snorts.
Always, but that's not it.
Well, what is it?
I could tell you, but you just wouldn't get it.
Try me.
When she doesn't respond, he leans over and kisses her gently.
Well, why don't I tell you something first then? I've been praying a lot about us, and
He touches her cheek.
Nickle, I think I love you.
This was not what she was expecting, and her face shows it. Staring into Ryan's eyes is like standing on a track with a train barreling towards her. She grins.
I love you too.
Really?
Man, we're just like the lady and the tramp, wouldn't you say? Breaking all the rules. I'm the tramp, of course.
Nickle, tell me your thing now.
She gets on her knees and slowly crawls to the edge of the bluff. She stares down woozily, then turns back to Ryan.
I'm afraid of heights.
Is that it?
She nods.
That's fine. You can stay here. No pressure.
No pressure?
None.
Ryan runs to the edge and jumps gracefully. Nickle covers her eyes as he falls. Exterior, lake, day. Ryan and Stephanie are splashing each other childishly. Goose pimples rise on Stephanie's skin.
I'm freezing. How do I get out of this?
The rope ladder's over there.
Ryan helps boost Stephanie onto the rope. She starts climbing. Exterior, the bluffs, day. Nickle watches Ryan and Stephanie. When Stephanie gets to the top, Nickle dives onto her towel and pretends to be sleeping, but Stephanie notices. Interior, Nickle's car, driving, day. Nickle and Stephanie drive in silence. No music, windows are up. Stephanie glances as Nickle questioningly.
Can't wait to get out of this bathing suit.
You're probably making a wet spot on my car seat.
It'll dry.
Silence. Stephanie fiddles with the AC and then...
I have some good news. I've decided to go to NYU in the fall since Mom will be booking herself into rehab.
That'll be good for her.
Yeah, and good for us. We can be roomies.
I was actually thinking I'd be bunk with Ryan.
Oh. Are you mad at me or something for having fun without you?
You mean for flirting with my boyfriend?
I wasn't.
Like, you don't even, like, church stuff. You don't even believe in God.
Neither do you.
I do, and I'm quitting smoking, and I have friends that want to have real fun instead of just messing around and crying all the time about how life is so hard. You literally have everything. Like, I would kill to be as rich and pretty as you, and all you ever do is complain. And finally, I found people who are just happy to be alive, and you're trying to take them from me and act like you actually like them.
Wow.
What?
These people don't even know the real you. At least I never asked you to dress like a saint or talk like Mother Teresa.
I'm just growing up. Ryan told me he loved me.
You can let me off here.
What?
Stop the car.
Look, I know you're not actually trying to steal him from me. That was a dumb thing to say. I just hated how...
I said stop the car.
Exterior, roadside, day. The Chevy pulls over and Stephanie gets out.
I'll be sure to pray for you.
As soon as her door slams shut, Nickle speeds away. Exterior, Brook house, day. Nickle and her parents stand outside a cookie-cutter suburban home. Nickle rings the doorbell and drums her fingers on the doorstep railing. She hits the doorbell again just as the door opens. Beth greets them. Interior, Brook house, dining room, day. The Webers and the Brooks dine on roast chicken and thick gravy and sparkling cider. There's a cross hanging on the wall at the head of the table where Mr. Brooks sits. Thomas is at the foot of the table with a china cabinet behind him. Lucy cries, so everyone attempts to talk over her.
What is it you said you do again, Vivian?
I'm a freelance blogger for recipe and food websites.
Very interesting.
And you're a...
Optometrist.
Why is it that a decent pair of glasses cost a kidney and a half? You know, you can order them from Hong Kong for half the price and get them here.
It's the economy.
I say it's a scam.
Lucy wails louder. Beth picks her up and takes her into the kitchen.
One moment.
Thanks for having us all over, Mr. Brook.
Of course, not a problem, Nickle. What church did you say you went to again?
St. Peter. It's on 1st Street. I only switched over because you guys have a better youth group.
Vivian and Thomas are obviously uncomfortable.
Nickle plays a mean keyboard. I was thinking we should get her on stage one of these days.
Thomas drops his fork. It hits the plate loudly and bounces onto the floor.
Christ.
He picks the fork up soberly. Interior, Nickle's bedroom, night. Nickle is all tucked into her bed. Her phone is the only light which casts harshly onto her face as she texts Ryan. Love you, handsome. Beat, and then, you too. She smiles to herself, then goes to call Stephanie. We can see from her history that she's already attempted this about 10 times. The phone rings and she brings it to her ear. After a few more rings, the answering machine picks up with, "This is Stephanie, shoot me a text, why don't you?" Beep.
Hey Steph, it's me again. I just wanted to say sorry. I know I was a mega cow about everything. I was just jealous, you know? Anyway, I thought about what you said, and I know I'm still figuring out my relationship with God and all. So, let's figure it out together? Come to church with me? Alright, bye.
Nickle puts down her phone and the room goes black. Interior church day. Bright and holy and glorious. Nickle, amongst the rest of the congregation, listens intently to the pastor's sermon. Stephanie is not there.
Before I got married to my wonderful Maria, I spoke with the pastor at my church. I told him of my sins and wrongdoings and my fear that I wasn't deserving of her love. In response, my pastor quoted Proverbs 30, 18 to 19. There are 3 things that amaze me. No, 4 things that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky, how a snake slithers on a rock, how a ship navigates the ocean, how a man loves a woman.
Nickle and Ryan smile unabashedly at one another.
I've considered these words for a long time, and now after 20 years of marriage, I've come to understand them. For your marriage not only to your partner, but to God to be successful, you must first learn to glide like an eagle. Face your fear of the heights, and give yourself over completely.
Nickle's smile falls away. Her hands twitch at her sides.
You must trust that God gave you every tool you need to slither over the ground, that you can swim in any direction, even through the ocean at night, and He will guide you back home. Just like my wife guides me when I refuse to ask for directions.
The congregation chuckles, but Nickle's not smiling. Her eyes are wide and unblinking. Tears start to well.
The beauty of a man's love for a woman is epic. The beauty of a person's love for God is unfathomable.
The tears brim over Nickle's eyes and fall lightly down her cheeks. She looks around the church. It's just so beautiful. Interior church, vestibule, day. Rosa and Nickle are in the back of the church, flipping through sheet music.
This is for next week. There are all the guitar notes, but I figured you could just Google the keyboard version.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for showing me this.
I think you'll be a great addition. We've been dying for more musical talent.
Nickle smiles, gathering up the sheet music.
Your dad's sermon was really great today.
I'll let him know you thought so. Hey, just so we're clear, I'm not mad about you and Ryan or anything like that.
Oh, coolio. Yeah, I didn't think you were mad. Were you guys like an item or something?
We dated for 3 years, but don't worry, I broke up with him. I mean, I totally had to. After his dad remarried, he went through this wild streak. I mean, I'm sure he's told you all about it.
No, he hasn't mentioned it, actually.
Oh, whatever. Don't dwell or anything. I'm sure he'll tell you when he's ready. Want to see something cool?
Exterior church, day. Rosa leads Nickle behind the church where a decorative crab apple tree blossoms magenta flowers. She parts the branches and points. There's a robin nest with 3 dainty blue eggs.
It's like a little fairy tale world.
God's hand.
It's so beautiful.
It's my secret spot, just like the lake was. I only show it to certain people, because I don't want it getting spoiled by the masses.
Thanks, Rosa. This really means a lot to me.
Interior Nickle's car, driving, night. Ryan is driving while Nickle rides shotgun with her feet on the dashboard.
Still can't believe she was nice to you. She's the type to push people in front of a bus out of jealousy.
She was unbelievably nice. It was insanity. Like, everything's just been so freaking good lately. I actually wake up happy. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing, but I actually do.
Keeping his eyes on the road, he takes her hand and kisses it.
She also mentioned that you had a wild streak.
He forces a laugh.
Of course she did.
Care to elaborate, good sir?
It wasn't a wild streak by any means. She just felt like we were moving too fast, physically. Freaked her out that she might be breaking her vows to God.
Oh.
Ryan points out the window.
Isn't this your friend's house?
He slows down as they pass by Stephanie's mansion.
Yeah, we're not really on speaking terms right now. She's going through a phase.
Isn't she like your best friend?
Could we just not talk about this? So did you and Rosa sleep together?
Could we not talk about that either?
They're both silent now. Nickle racks her brain for conversation, then remembers.
So I've been looking at apartments in New York. Were we thinking 1 bedroom or 2?
What?
For the fall.
I'm staying in dorms, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
After a moment, Nickle turns the radio onto classic rock. Ryan looks at her.
What? It's The Clash.
Yep. It's that, alright.
Nickle turns down the music.
I'm going to ask my parents to come to church.
They won't come.
Can you even pretend to be supportive?
I'm just telling you, Nickle, I've seen them tense up just at the mention of God. But, you're right. I'm sorry. I would love it if your parents came to church.
They park outside of Nickle's house, and she's about to get out when he grabs her hand.
I love you. I'm sorry if I don't always show it.
She softens, releasing her anger.
I love you too.
Interior, Nickle's bedroom, night. Nickle's laying on her bed, monologuing into her cell phone.
And I just feel like our fight was so petty. It's not like I'm going to barge into your house if you're still mad at me or anything.
She flops onto her stomach and pulls a Bible out from under her bed.
I just wanted to read this to you.
She opens the Bible to the bookmarked page.
Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. That's what it says. And I kind of just realized I've been forgetting to do that for you.
Nickle?
Thank God you actually picked up. I thought you might be...
Stop phoning me.
The line goes dead. Exterior church parking lot, day. Nickle leads her parents across the parking lot towards the church. She's struggling to keep an inexpensive keyboard tucked under her arm.
So first we have an introduction to the sermon, and then we stand up and sing a couple of songs, and then there's this full sermon, and then a couple more songs, and that's about it.
We've been to church before, sweetie. It's no need to prep us.
We'll do our best not to embarrass you too much.
Nickle turns around to face her parents.
This will be my first time playing in front of everyone. So if things go sideways, be a doll and pull the fire alarm.
You're going to do great.
As they approach the steps, Nickle notices it's Allison giving out the pamphlets this morning.
Hey.
Hey, want a pamphlet?
Nah. Where's Ryan at?
She shrugs.
Dunno. Haven't seen him.
Oh, hey, I've been meaning to ask. Whatever happened to your doggo? You call the SPCA like I said?
Didn't have to. Dad stopped drinking.
Nice one, God. Killing it. Hey, mind watching my keyboard? I want to show my folks something.
Sure.
Nickle leans her keyboard against the church steps. Allison waves awkwardly at Nickle's parents.
Hello. Would you like a pamphlet?
Exterior church, day. Nickle leads her parents around the back of the church.
Are we supposed to go back here?
My friend Rosa, you'll meet her today, showed me this really beautiful bird's nest. It's just so miraculous, so beautiful. Seriously, you're gonna totally dig it.
As they round the corner and the magenta-blossomed crabapple tree comes into view, so does Ryan and Rosa. Rosa is leaned against the tree, her pretty blonde hair speckled with apple blossoms. Her hand is tenderly looped around the back of Ryan's neck as he kisses her. Kisses her.
Oh.
Nickle stands there, motionless, speechless. Then, very slowly, as the betrayal sets in, her hands shake. She clears her throat at first quietly and then quite loudly. Ryan turns.
Nickle!
Let's go, sweetheart.
Thomas reaches out and takes Nickle's wrist, but she yanks away. A smirk plays on Rosa's lips. Nickle walks towards them.
You said you loved me.
I do.
Then what are you doing kissing Rosa? I can't even blame her. I really can't. She's single. You're not.
It was just...
Temptation under the apple tree?
Shut up, Rosa.
I think I'll be going.
No, seriously, Rosa, you can stay. He's all yours. He really is. I'll go.
She starts walking away, then turns back, crying coldly.
I really did think you loved me. Good to learn young that you really can't trust anyone nowadays. You really can't love anyone, because when it comes down to it, they'll never be there for you. No one's ever really there for you.
Let's go, hun.
Vivian wraps an arm around her child and the family walks off. They're about to head back into the parking lot when Nickle goes for her keyboard.
I'll take that for you.
No thanks. I'm going to stay.
Nicola.
I'm going to stay and play my keyboard.
She stumbles going up the steps and the keyboard hits the ground hard. Nickle's not far behind it. After a moment, she abandons the keyboard on the steps and heads back into the parking lot. Rosa watches them go, frowning uncertainly. She picks the keyboard up from the steps and goes into the church. Interior Nickle's bedroom, day. Nickle's looking at a calendar with a countdown of her days till NYU. She takes out her phone and dials Parker. As the phone rings, she crumples the calendar. A girl answers.
Hello? Parker's phone.
Nickle hangs up frantically just as there's a light rap against her open door.
May I come in?
What do you want?
Thomas enters and takes a seat on her bed.
How are you holding up?
I'm... whatever.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not particularly.
Nicola.
I guess I should have seen this coming, you know? Our relationship was a complete sham from day one. Like he actually thought I was going to NYU.
You are.
Yeah, to work at their bookstore, not to study like he thought. It was just a bunch of garbage and lies.
You loved him. I saw that. Your mom saw that.
I don't even know what that means. Love isn't even real. It's just a bunch of chemicals in your brain that makes you think it's real. But it's really just a bunch of hooey.
What about Stephanie? You love her, don't you?
She's not even talking to me, Dad. I'm probably never going to see her again.
She's your best friend.
Will people stop saying that? If she was my best friend, she'd be here for me. Now, could you just leave me alone? I have a headache.
Thomas sighs, rubs his neck tiredly, and stands.
Your mom and I got you a going-away present, but we thought you should have it now, considering everything.
He takes a crisp white envelope out of his back pocket and sets it on her bedside table. He then gets up and leaves the room, shutting her door somberly behind him. Nickle takes the envelope and jams it into the drawer carelessly. She knocks a cigarette to the floor in the process. She picks a cigarette up and is about to toss it back in the drawer when she hesitates. She brings it close to her face, really looking at it. The white paper, the yellow filter, the tobacco and nicotine all stuffed inside. She brings it to her lips, then takes it away. Interior bathroom, day. Nickle empties the carton of cigarettes into the toilet and stares at them as they bob. She takes a seat on the edge of the bathtub and gets out her phone. Insert phone. Nickle scrolls through Stephanie's social media, reminiscing over old photos of the best friend duo. She stops on a picture with Joel in the background and clicks on his name. She types out a message. Hey, it's Nickle. Could you tell Stephanie to give me a call? I really miss her. She hesitates, then presses send. She stands up and flushes the toilet. The cigarettes disappear down the drain. Interior Nickle's bedroom, day. Nickle opens the drawer in her bedside table and removes the crumpled envelope. She smooths it out regrettably. On the front, in inky cursive writing, it says, Nickle. She opens the envelope and empties the contents into her hand. A gold chain falls into her palm. A tiny gold cross hangs from it. A note drifts to the floor. Nickle picks up the note, which reads, We're here to support you and your faith. Always, Mom and Dad. She smiles, melancholy, and clasps the chain around her neck. Interior dining room, day. Nickle helps her dad set the table. They exchange a shy smile.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie?
Nickle sets down the plate she was holding and crosses the room to her dad. She hugs him, like really, truly hugs him. He squeezes tight, relishing in the moment. Vivian comes to the doorway and smiles tenderly. Interior Nickle's bedroom, evening. Nickle is laying under her bed scratching out Ryan's name, and Ryan plus Nickle equals love, leaving it as Nickle equals love. Above Ryan's name, she carves God. Before she can crawl back out from under the bed, her phone dings. She takes it out and reads the message from Joel. She had a bit of a mental break and broke up with me. Haven't heard from her in like a week.
A mental break?
Interior Nickle's car, evening. Nickle is driving like a madman, zigzagging her way through traffic with her classic rock blasting around her. At the same time, she's phoning Stephanie. Every time she gets voicemail, she hangs up and phones again. Exterior Stephanie's house, evening. Nickle's car careens into the driveway. She leaps out and bangs on the door. Interior, exterior Stephanie's house, entrance, evening. Stephanie's inebriated mother, Donna, opens the door with a wine bottle in hand.
What are you doing here?
Is Stephanie home?
No. She told me she was going to your house.
Donna leans heavily on the doorframe, fighting a drunken stupor.
To my house.
Isn't she there? Should I be worried?
Donna stumbles a little and almost drops the wine bottle.
No, don't be worried. She must have taken the bus. I just thought I was picking her up.
Okay.
She shuts the door in Nickle's face. Interior Nickle's car, driving, night. Nickle is driving around hopelessly, all her calls going straight to voicemail. She squints out of her windshield, every skinny pedestrian mistaken as Stephanie. The song playing in the background ends and a radio announcer comes on. Nickle barely listens.
Before we get back to our top 20s from the 90s, we have some breaking news. Down at the fairgrounds, all rides have been shut down while police try to talk a young woman off the ledge of the Ferris wheel.
Nickle's eyes go wide, and she cranks the volume and tunes into the radio.
It seems the girl bought a ticket from the ride. However, upon getting to the top, she stood up and climbed onto the infrastructure. Since then, she has been completely unresponsive to the police as she contemplates taking her own life.
Nickle floors it. Destination, the fair. Exterior, fair, parking lot, night. Nickle's Chevy careens into the lot, parking illegally across 3 spaces. Exterior, fair, ticket booth, night. Nickle runs up to the entrance where a pimply-faced attendant mans the booth. She slams a 20 on the counter.
Open the gate.
He presses a button and speaks through the microphone.
I'm sorry, ma'am. There's a police situation taking place. No admittance.
I know there's a police situation. It's my best friend up there, and I need in.
Are you with the media?
No, just let me in. Open the gate.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but...
Ugh!
Nickle climbs awkwardly over the gate and runs into the park where red and blue lights flash ominously. Exterior, Ferris wheel, night. A crowd is gathered around the police tape, everyone staring up at the giant metal wheel looming oppressively against the night sky. Stephanie stands at the top, swaying woozily, the crowd beneath her coming in and out of focus. Her face is deadpan and lifeless. Nickle stares up at her, dread filling her to the core.
Stephanie.
Stephanie's head snaps towards Nickle's voice as Nickle scrambles under the police tape.
Stephanie, it's me.
An officer latches onto Nickle's shoulder.
You need to get back behind the tape.
But Stephanie,
You know that girl?
she's my best friend. Please, you need to get me up there. She'll listen to me.
The officer steers Nickle towards another man in uniform, the captain.
Captain, this young lady knows a girl.
We can't send anyone up. If we start the ride, the girl might slip and fall. Get that one back.
Please.
You heard him. Back behind the tape.
Nickle nods in complete despair. The officer lifts the tape and she's about to duck under when she turns sharply and runs, not looking back to see if she's being chased or not. She ducks into the Ferris wheel infrastructure and starts up the electrician ladder. Climbing hurriedly, she looks up at Stephanie above her like a wind chime swaying in the breeze.
I'm coming, Steph. Just hold on.
Nickle's arms shake as she climbs, one rung at a time with trembling string bean arms. Beneath her, the crowd is going wild and she briefly glances down. Her world spins and she looks like she might be sick. She swallows hard. It's quite the drop. Nickle shakes her head, trying hard to clear it as she presses on. Stephanie is getting closer and closer with each step. We watch her hand latch onto a rung with a missing screw. It doesn't give, but it looks as though it could at any moment. Her hands pass by it, and then her foot is on it, and clang! The rung gives way and Nickle's foot falls, scrambling hard to find another hold.
Please, God.
Her sweaty hands grip tight to the metal bar at chin level, and finally she finds her footing. The broken metal rung makes a noisy ruckus as it slams into the infrastructure on its fall to the ground.
Please, God, for Stephanie.
Removing one hand at a time, she wipes her sweaty palms on her pants and then continues the climb. Finally, she rises at the top of the Ferris wheel where she can see Stephanie's back facing away from her. Stephanie is now sitting down, just staring over the edge and into the vacant oblivion.
Stephanie.
Stephanie doesn't turn towards her.
Sometimes I want to die, Nickle. I really do.
I know.
They wouldn't even notice if I disappeared.
I'd notice, Steph. I'd notice.
She suddenly turns towards Nickle, almost losing her balance.
You just left me on the side of the road, my best friend, and you just left me.
You wanted out.
I want out now.
Nickle nervously edges along the railing towards Stephanie. She takes a seat beside her, glancing down.
I shouldn't have left you there. I've regretted it every day since. And I promise that as long as I live, I'll never leave you like that again. I can't live without you, Steph. You're the other end of my guitar string, and without you, there'll be no music.
I just want to jump. At the lake, it felt so good jumping. It felt like I was flying.
You can't leave me like that.
Stephanie stares downwards.
I can't believe you climbed up here.
I'd go higher. I'd go to the greatest height in the world for you.
Tears start dripping down Stephanie's face.
I'm so alone.
No, look at me.
Stephanie looks at her through glassy eyes.
I thought I was alone too. I really did. I thought no one was going to love me. And you were gone, and Ryan was gone, and there was really just no one. And then, even though it was one of the worst days of my lives, I noticed there was still small things, like the way the dew caught on the grass or the way coffee smells in the morning. They don't mean much, but they're just small, beautiful things, and I remembered I'm not alone. We never are if we have God. And God might want you in heaven with him, but he can wait. He really can, because I need you here on earth with me right now. Please, Stephanie, I'm begging you. Just come down with me.
Stephanie looks at Nickle, kind of wistfully, then back down at the fairgrounds below.
It's kind of beautiful up here, don't you think?
For the first time, Nickle looks and isn't afraid. She sees the beauty of it too.
Look,
She points.
it's the deep-fried pickle stand.
Stephanie slowly gets up and so does Nickle. They walk back towards the ride and apprehensively climb into a seat. Nickle brings the bar down to secure them, then yells.
We're ready to come down.
People move frantically around them and then the ride starts moving. The crowd cheers.
Hey, Nickle,
Yeah?
I love you.
I love you too. Don't ever go scaring me like that again.
They hug. Exterior church day. Ryan is handing out pamphlets as people enter the church. He glances down the steps and into the parking lot, doing a double take as Nickle walks towards him. She's back in her ripped jeans and AC/DC t-shirt, looking like her good old self. She really does look quite good. Her gold cross necklace hangs delicately around her neck. Her parents accompany her as she heads up the steps.
Good morning, Ryan.
Nickle, you came back.
I did.
So, did you want to talk? We could grab coffee or something after this.
Maybe another time.
She takes a pamphlet from his hand.
Though you are forgiven, so don't get your panties in a knot worrying or anything.
She and her parents disappear inside. Ryan stares after her. Interior church day. Rosa watches as the Webers take their seats in the pews. They exchange good morning and God bless with a couple people around them. Thomas takes Nickle's hand and squeezes it.
I'm sorry Stephanie didn't want to come.
That's okay. I'm just thankful she's alive.
We all are.
I forgot to tell you. She's gonna be my roommate in New York.
It's perfect.
Rosa takes a seat behind them and Ryan enters. He shuts the door behind him as the pastor emerges from the back of the church.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to see so many of you taking the time, week after week, to join me in praise.
He looks to Nickle and her family and smiles cherishingly.
As many of you know, this morning is a very special morning. We will be performing a baptism for a girl who truly has moved mountains since I've met her. She's saved a life, which is why I've decided to start today's sermon with 2:4-7 Timothy. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. This is what many of us here hope we can say when our time comes. And I know with utmost certainty in my heart that this is what Nicola Weber will be saying. Please join me, Nickle.
Nickle nervously rises and makes her way to the front of the church. She stumbles onto the stage, laughing nervously as everyone watches on. She stands over the baptism dish and smiles at the congregation.
I just want to say thank you to everyone I've met here. You've truly changed my life.
She bows her head and the pastor brings a jug of holy water to her.
Nickle, I now baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit for the forgiveness of your sins and the gift of the Holy Spirit.
He pours the water over her. As it soaks her hair, beads catch in her eyelashes and run along her cheeks. The light from the stained glass windows dance across her face, lighting the water in beautiful, mystical colors. She looks up, shaking her hair like a wet dog and grinning at everyone.
I did it.
Rosa comes on a stage carrying Nickle's keyboard and her guitar.
Father, I thought Nickle could join us today.
I think that's a great idea.
Everyone stands and Rosa helps Nickle set up her keyboard and shows her the sheet music. Nickle nods excitedly, her hair still dripping with holy water. They sing Beneath the Waters, I Will Rise.
This is my revelation, Christ Jesus crucified, salvation through repentance at the cross on which he died.
Now hear my absolution, forgiveness for my sin, and I sink beneath the waters that Christ was buried in.
The door to the church bursts open and Stephanie enters singing more loudly and out of tune than we've ever heard before.
I will rise, as Christ was railed to life. Now in him, I live.
They smile and welcome her. Nickle's never been so ecstatic.
I stand a new creation, baptized in blood and fire, no fear of condemnation, by faith I'm justified.
As they sing, we fade out. Roll credits.